You pick up your phone for what you swear will only be 5 minutes. Maybe you're waiting for the kettle to boil, sitting on the bus, or lying in bed before going to sleep. You open YouTube. One video becomes two becomes 10, and before you know it, an hour has disappeared. You don't remember making any conscious decisions. You just kept watching. Or maybe it's TikTok. One swipe becomes another. A funny video turns into a cooking tutorial, then a football clip, then a conspiracy theory, then a stranger telling you about a problem you didn't even know existed 5 minutes ago. Somehow every video feels like it was made specifically for you. It almost feels like your phone knows you better than you know yourself. But here's the strange part. It doesn't. It simply knows how to predict you. Every second you spend online leaves behind a trail of data. Every pause, every scroll, every video you finish, every one you skip, every song you replay, every post you zoom into for just a little bit longer than average. Individually, these actions seem meaningless. However, together, they become one of the most valuable resources on Earth. Because every click teaches an algorithm something new about you. These algorithms aren't people. They don't understand emotions. They don't know what happiness feels like or why you laughed at that meme 3 nights ago. What they do understand is probability. Given everything you've ever done on a platform, what are you most likely to do next? That single question has become one of the biggest businesses in human history. Companies like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, and Netflix compete over one thing above all else, and that is your attention. Not because attention itself has value, but because attention can be converted into advertising revenue, subscriptions, purchases, and influence. The longer you stay, the more valuable you become. And that's where recommendation algorithms come in. Years ago, the internet was surprisingly simple. If you wanted to watch a video, you searched for it. If you wanted news, you visited a news website. If you wanted music, you chose an album yourself. Today's internet doesn't work like that. Increasingly, content comes to you before you've even decided what you want. Open TikTok and there's no search required. Open Instagram and your explore page is already full. Open Netflix and dozens of films are waiting. Spotify has built a playlist for you Monday morning before you even had breakfast. The platforms aren't waiting for your decisions anymore. They're making predictions instead. But the question is, how? At first glance, it almost does seem magical. How does YouTube know you suddenly want to become a guitarist? Why does Spotify recommend a song you never heard but instantly love? Why does Netflix somehow know exactly what you'll binge this weekend? And the answer isn't one giant supercomputer reading your mind. It's thousands of mathematical predictions happening every second. Take YouTube. Every single minute, hundreds of hours of videos are uploaded to the platform. No human being could possibly sort through that amount of content. Instead, YouTube built one of the world's largest recommendation systems. The first stage acts almost like a librarian. Imagine walking into the biggest library ever built, containing billions of books, and asking for something you'll probably enjoy. The librarian doesn't hand you every book. They narrow it down. YouTube does exactly the same thing. Based on everything it already knows about you, your viewing history, channels you've watched, and topics you've enjoyed, it quickly narrows billions of videos into a much smaller group of possible recommendations. But that's only the beginning. A second system then ranks every one of those candidates, not by popularity, not by upload date, but by the probability that you'll actually watch them. Every recommendation becomes a prediction. If this video appears on your homepage, what's the chance you'll click? If you do click it, how long will you watch it for? Will you finish it, or will you leave immediately? Will you continue watching another video afterwards? According to YouTube's own engineering publications, these predictions are made using enormous machine learning models trained on billions of examples. Rather than relying on one or two factors, the system considers countless signals at once. Importantly, YouTube says it no longer optimizes for pure clicks. That era created a clickbait epidemic. Now it leans towards watch time and even satisfaction, trying to recommend videos you're glad you watched, not just ones you couldn't look away from. But here's the uncomfortable question. Researchers keep asking what happens when the thing that keeps you watching isn't the thing that's good for you. Calm and balanced content rarely goes as viral as something dramatic and outrage-inducing. That's not a conspiracy, it's just human psychology. We're wired to notice conflict. Algorithms didn't invent that, they just learnt it. This is where the rabbit hole theory comes from. One extreme video leading to another, slightly more extreme, then another. Some studies back this up. Others found the opposite, that recommendations sometimes pulled people towards less extreme content than what they searched for. The truth? Well, it's probably both, because the algorithm isn't creating your preferences from nothing. It's just learning which version of you keeps watching. And now, if YouTube, as we say, has mastered prediction, then TikTok must have perfected it. You don't need to follow anyone. The first video you ever watch could be from someone with 10 followers or 10 million. It doesn't matter. Only one thing matters: will you keep watching? Within 30 minutes of downloading the app, TikTok can already feel eerily accurate. Not because it knows you, because it doesn't need to. It just needs to find people who behave like you. You belong to thousands of invisible groups at once, and the algorithm is consistently recalculating which ones you currently resemble. Every recommendation is basically a tiny experiment. Show it to a few people, if they watch, it spreads further. If they scroll past, it dies instantly. And this is where it gets darker. One Amnesty International investigation created teenage test accounts that briefly engaged with mental health content. And within a short time, those accounts were being pushed videos about depression, hopelessness, even self-harm. TikTok disrupted parts of the report and says it added stronger protections. But the pattern is the real warning. Algorithms don't understand why you watch something. To the system, watching a video about anxiety because you're struggling looks identical to watching because you're curious. Instagram has the same problem. One investigation created brand new accounts with zero history, had them engage only with ordinary fitness content. And the Explore page still started surfacing increasingly extreme anti-Semitic posts. Nobody searched for it. It just arrived. Meta says it removes hate speech where it can, but it shows how hard this actually is to control. The algorithm isn't ideological. It's just pattern matching, and sometimes those patterns lead somewhere ugly. Even Spotify and Netflix, far less controversial, have quieter versions of this problem. Spotify's Discover Weekly can genuinely introduce you to some incredible music, but studies show heavy reliance on algorithmic playlists can actually narrow your taste over time. Because recommending something safe and familiar is far less risky than recommending something new. Netflix does the same with thumbnails, literally showing you different artwork for the same movie based on what it thinks will make you click. None of this means these companies are evil, it means they're optimizing for one specific goal, and that is to keep you watching. And once that's the goal, the system will find whatever achieves it, whether that's a beautiful documentary or something a little more corrosive. So, the question is whether algorithms are controlling your life. Not exactly. Like I said before, it doesn't have opinions, it doesn't believe anything. It only has one job, and that is to predict what you will do next. Everything else, the outrage, the rabbit holes, the eerily perfect playlists, is just a side effect of that single objective. And here's the part that stings a little. The algorithm doesn't hear your excuses. You tell yourself you clicked out of curiosity. The algorithm just sees that you watched it to the end. Behavior becomes data. Data becomes prediction. Prediction becomes tomorrow's feed. So escaping it isn't about deleting every app. It's about noticing the loop. Search instead of scroll. Click on something outside your usual lane. Turn autoplay off. Every so often, just ask yourself, did I choose this or was it chosen for me? Because the algorithm is very good at predicting your next move. It still can't make it for you, at least. Not yet.